What's up guys, I'm Newbie Dave and today we're building a tower. Let's get started. Oh look everybody, it's raining in Minecraft while I'm recording, because that's what Minecraft does. How's it going everybody? Hope you're having a fantastic week. I'm super excited because I finally got a new computer and it is so much better than my old computer. But fair warning, I am still getting everything configured. This is the first recording that I've done on my new computer. And even though I expect the performance from now on to be fantastic, it may take me an episode or two to get all of my recording stuff configured the way that I used to have it on my old computer again. So just bear with me as I figure out Minecraft and life in general. So yeah, today's episode is going to be a really cool looking tower, I hope. I think it's going to be cool looking. I hope you guys find it cool looking too. Ever since I moved into this mountainy area, like one of the things I loved about this is the fact that you've got this little valley area surrounded by mountains, and I wanted to build both down here in the valley, but also some stuff kind of up in and on the mountains as well. And pretty much everything I've built so far has been down in the valley. And so this tower that I want to build is going to be more up into the mountains a little bit more. It's not going to be on top of the mountain like our giant gliding platform up there. It'll still be within this mountain ring, but it will be more up in the snow layer rather than down here in the valley. Now before we go up there, I need to make some leather boots because the area where I'm planning on building this, I know for a fact there is a lot of powdered snow up there and I don't want to be falling into it over and over and over again while working on this build. So we will throw on some leather boots, we'll put my helmet back on, and let's go take a look at where we're going to build this thing. So what I'm thinking is over here past the smokehouse, going up the mountain a little ways, there's a good sort of flat patch back here in the corner that I found while doing a little bit of exploring. Yeah, you see all this powdered snow? I'm not sinking down into it, but I can step into it from the side. So these leather boots are a real lifesaver right now. So yeah, this area right up here is a really nice flat open area already with apparently a zombie. I just need to clear it out and replace all of this powdered snow with snow. Like, it's hard. I have a real hard time identifying powdered snow, but because there's a big old patch of it right here and there's a lot of regular snow right here, it's a lot easier to kind of see the two side by side. And one of the things I have to deal with is apparently there are some mobs down in the powdered snow that are dying or freezing to death right now. So we get to enjoy that while working on today's build. So yeah, let me clear this out. Let me get rid of the trees. Let me replace all of the powdered snow with regular snow. And the reason I'm going to use snow instead of dirt or grass like I have for all my other builds is because this area is in a snowy area and I want to keep that look. I want to keep that feel of where it's already at. Now I absolutely hate powdered snow. I'm serious. I hate this stuff. If I were playing on a PvP world, I could kind of see its benefits, but on a single player world like this, it's just a nuisance. So as you're digging this stuff up, one easy way to tell what's powdered snow and what's regular snow is just using a shovel. As you can see, the powdered snow, it doesn't break any faster with a shovel than it does with your bare hands or any other tool. Whereas regular snow, you can just tear right through this stuff with a shovel. And so I could just clear this whole area out and replace it all with snow. But as I'm clearing out the powdered snow, I know that if I hit a block that just immediately breaks, that's regular snow and I can stop going in that direction. Well, this is fine. There's apparently a skeleton buried down in the powdered snow somewhere. And he's like shooting up at me, but I can't. I guess I could take my boots off and go down there and kill him, but I don't want to. So I'm just gonna have to suffer pot shots if I happen to go over that way. Alright, so we got this area cleared out. There's a few more leaves up there that will decay on their own as we're working on this. So let me set up my little workstation area really fast. So as I was clearing out this area, I even went so far as digging up any dirt that I found and replacing that with snow. The same way that I would replace snow with dirt in some of those other builds. I want all of this to be snow. This is a snowy area. I want all of it to be snow. So on to today's build. So it's actually going to be, and it's one structure, but it's going to be kind of broken up into two parts. There's going to be a very tall base to this tower that's built entirely out of cobblestone and stone bricks. And then the upper part is going to be built out of various woods and white concrete and copper and everything. And that's where like the living space or the workspace or whatever you want to do with this tower is going to be. So let's start with the base. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with the back wall just because I know where I want the back of this thing to be. I want it to be pretty close to this back of this area, whatever you would call this. So I'm going to start right here and I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be the back wall. And so it's going to be a 5x5 box or square. But I'm going to skip this corner block and put the next wall right here. So that's going to be 5 right there. Same thing on this side. I'm going to skip the corner and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then on the front, we'll do 1, 2. We'll leave a spot for the door and then 4, 5 there. So we should have a base that looks like this. I'll explain why we skip the corners in just a minute, but first I want to get this whole cobblestone structure built up. So I want this base that's built out of stone and cobblestone to be 15 blocks tall. So let me take one of these blocks here, and I've already got one, so I'll go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is going to be the height of this base. So just taking a step back, you can see this is going to be pretty tall. It's not going to be a huge structure, but it's certainly going to be taller than probably even the structure around my storage building down there. So each of these is just going to be cobblestone. There's nothing fancy going on, no stairs, no walls, no mixed block types. So let me just bang this out real fast with all the cobblestone. Oh, and you know what? For this part of the build, I'm going to go ahead and put on my netherite boots because I know that there's not any more powdered snow right here. And I'm going to be jumping down and I need my feather falling because I don't always hit my elytra on the way down. Alright, there we go, a 5x5 structure that is 15 blocks tall. Now I said there's not going to be any stairs or walls or anything like that. That's not technically true because you know I'm not going to be happy with a plain boring structure that's all the exact same block type. So yes, of course I'm going to go add some detailing later, but you can just build the entire base really quickly and easily and not worry about the rest of that right now. So let's turn our attention to these corners. Why did I leave the corners empty? Well, because I want to throw in some stone bricks, and we could just go all the way up with stone bricks like this, but that's not really the look that I'm after. What I want to do is I'm going to do stone brick blocks for the bottom two like this, but then the rest of the way up, I want to alternate upside down stairs going back and forth like this. So what that's going to give us is this sort of effect, where it kind of looks like there's slabs going out in each direction. And this isn't exactly the look that I want for this sort of medieval tower, but it's the closest we can get with Minecraft blocks. And so I'm going to do this all the way up. We'll do this over here as well. And I want the bottom of each corner to kind of be facing the same direction. So these two I'm going to have facing forward, and these two back ones I'll have facing backwards. And that's just going to set the pattern for everything else above it. So because we've got to go back and forth like this, I'm just going to do all of one side first. So I'll go all the way up here, and let's see. This one is facing forward, so that one is going to face forward. Then I'm going to skip that one, do that one facing forward, skip one, facing forward, skip one, and like that all the way up. Now we can just come over here and build another little scaffolding tower and get all the ones that need to face this way. I think that's a lot easier than trying to go back and forth one row at a time. Oh no, there's some powdered snow on this back wall. So I am going to keep my leather boots in my inventory just in case that happens again. But I am going to swap back out to my netherite boots as I'm working on the build. So there we go. There's our alternating stair step corners going all the way up. And I think this effect looks really, really cool. So the reason why I left the bottom 2 blocks as solid blocks is because I want to do the same sort of thing that I did for the base of my smokehouse down there. I'm going to put some stairs on the corner sticking out this way. And the reason I'm doing this is because this is a very tall structure that is all one depth. It's just a big, tall, flat wall. And so this, I think, is going to help the bottom of it sort of fan out a little bit so that it's not all the same depth. It's not all the same flatness. And then between those stairs, I'm going to throw in a slab just to sort of help, I guess, exaggerate the fanning out effect that the stairs on the feet or on the base are trying to accomplish. So now we can do something with our doorway over here, and I'm going to put in a spruce doorway, but first I'm going to remove some of these cobblestone blocks because I want to do something similar to what we did with the corners here. I can't do the whole alternating stair step effect because this is a flat wall, and if we put stairs here then you would be able to see through them. But I can at least accomplish something similar by just surrounding the door with the stone brick blocks. So I think that really helps frame the entrance, and it's going to help the door sort of pop out a little bit more than if there's just a single door in the middle of this giant cobblestone wall. Now before I actually put the door in, let's replace all of this snow on the inside with an actual floor. And for my floor, you know what I'm going to use? Something that I have discovered I really like, and that is jungle wood. I never touched jungle wood until this series, and I'm finding more and more how much I really like this stuff, especially for floors. It just looks so good as a floor. Alright, so now we can put in our spruce door, and I'm going to put it on the outside so it's flush with the wall like this. So this is starting to look really good, except from down here inside of the powdered snow. Now, going to the inside, this is just basically a tall staircase. The actual workspace slash living space is going to be up there, so we need a way to get up there. So I'm going to use some dark oak stairs and some dark oak planks, and we're just going to build your classic staircase. We'll go back and forth alternating regular stairs with upside down stairs on the back like this. But then in the corners we're going to do a solid plank like so. So I'm actually going to do all of the upright stairs first. Since I have a surface to put the stairs against, this is going to be very quick and very easy. And then I'll go back down and I'll put the upside down stairs on the bottom of all of these when I'm done, because I've got my scaffolding so I can easily reach everything. Now once we get up here, we need to put in a floor so that we have a floor to walk on the upper segment of this tower. So for this I'm just going to use dark oak slabs, so it's going to really blend in well with the staircase that leads up to it. But we do have to remember that we've got to leave space for the stairs here. And because of where the stairs are coming out on the top here, the space that we leave kind of needs to wrap around the corner. So I think, yeah, we can fill that one in. I think, you know what? Actually, maybe not. I thought we were going to need a little bit more space than that, but this actually worked out really well. Okay, so that almost completes the base of this thing. Like I said, I am going to do a little bit of detailing, and I'm going to go ahead and do that now that I've got all the stairs put in. So what I want to do is, counting from the top, there's 1, 2, 3 rows down. I'm going to knock out those 2 blocks right there and those 2 blocks right there. So basically the blocks around the center column. It's like that's the center of the wall. I'm going to knock out the 2 blocks to the left and right of it. And I'm going to do this all the way around on all 4 walls like this. And then what I want to do, and I may have to go to the outside for some of this, but I think some of it I can do from inside, is I'm going to put in a regular stair there and then an upside down stair right above it, but not facing that way. I want them both facing the same way like that. Yeah, and so it'll be easier to see what this is accomplishing once I step back. So when you put a regular stair with an upside down stair right above it, it creates like a really narrow window, like a little slit window like this. And I think this is going to look really good from the outside. So let me get each of these filled in with the stairs that I want. and then we'll pop outside and see how it looks. I'm going to put, rather than doing scaffolding, I'm just going to put some temporary blocks in here to get around. So now let's step outside, and you can really see these little slit windows now. They look really, really good. And I intentionally wanted them to be kind of high up on this thing. The idea with windows like this is, I think they were kind of used as like archer windows in this sort of architecture. So you could have archers that could sit here and like shoot at, hopefully without having to jump, shoot at approaching soldiers. But because it's such a narrow window, it's really hard to hit them from the outside. And so they need to be up high, they need to have good visibility, but it's really more just for decoration. I just want the decoration to kind of look accurate. And then the last little bit of detailing we're going to do on this bottom half is just replace some of the regular blocks with some mossy cobblestone to get a little bit of variety in there. I'm not going to go super crazy with this, maybe just 2 or 3 blocks on each side. When I build stuff in areas that like there's a lot of water around it, or if it's around a pond or something, then I might throw in a little bit more of the mossy variety of bricks. But for something like this, it's really just meant to help it look old. And you don't really need a ton of the mossy blocks to do that. And with that, we, I believe, are done with the bottom of this thing. So I'm going to pack up all my stuff down here and move it up to the top so we can start working on the top and not have to come back down and back and forth to get all of our supplies. Alright, so the top half of this thing is actually going to stick out by 1 block, and so I'm going to start with some dark oak wood slabs, and I'm going to crouch down and come out here, and I'm just going to go along the top half of the blocks that are the very top of the base of this thing. Just create like a little platform or shelf that the top half of this thing can sit on. And now that we've gone all the way around with slabs, I'm actually going to come back and remove some of these. So I'm going to break out the middle slab on each wall. So just count in 1, 2, 3 from the cobblestone. And we're going to replace each of these slabs with a plank. We're going to do the same thing for the corners, but not the very far corner like this. We're going to do like the corners next to the corners that are made out of these stone bricks. So we'll do plank there and plank there, but then the corner will be an upside down, or I guess not upside down, a top slab. That's what I meant. This will make a lot more sense once we take a look at it from below. So let me get these planks put in on the corners and the middles, and then we'll look at it from below and see how it looks. So we'll hop down for a little bit, and you can see, so right there in the middle is a plank sticking down, and then on the corners is a plank sticking down, but in the actual extent corner thing is still a plank. The reason for this is I need to get up under there. I'll use my scaffolding to sort of climb back up, and I'm actually going to put a dark oak fence underneath each of those. What this is trying to do, and actually, you know what, instead of fences, let me do some upside down stairs. So we'll do stair there. Yeah, I think that's going to look a lot better. So we'll do upside down stairs underneath each of these. And what these are supposed to represent is like supports that are holding up the top half of this thing. Because it's sticking out, and like if this were a real structure, you know, in Minecraft you can just have stuff floating in the sky. It doesn't really matter. But if this were a real structure, to have something sticking out over the foundation that's holding it up, you need something underneath that, whoops, to kind of anchor it to the base to hold up all that weight. So that's what these are meant to represent. So you know what, I am having a small issue with some of these because, like, take a look at this. If I try to put one there, it's actually turning because there is a stone brick stair right next to it that's facing a different direction. So that's actually really easy to fix. We're just going to remove that stair, since you wouldn't really see it anyways, and we'll just replace it with an actual stone brick. Now we can put the stairs on there, and the stairs aren't going to turn in any direction. I need to do this on the front as well. And there we go. So now we've got our little support. I don't know what you call these things, trusses or flying buttresses. I'm not an architect. I don't know what they're called, but they look really good. They look like they belong there. So next we can work on the frame for each wall. So now coming into the actual corner here, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so this is going to be the height of each wall. And so we're going to do a column of spruce in each corner right there, there, and there. But then we're also going to do one in the middle, directly above the planks that we put in there. So they're marked out where all these columns of spruce are going to go. And now I can go up to 5 blocks high for each of these. And then finally, around the very top of this, we're going to do a row of the dark oak planks all the way around. Now the reason that I use spruce instead of dark oak for the frames, for the columns in between the walls like this, is because when it comes to logs versus wood, logs are always a different color than the actual wood. And the spruce logs with the bark still on it is the exact same color as dark oak planks and slabs and stairs and everything. And so they just blend in much, much better than if I'd used dark oak logs. Like if I put some dark oak logs next to this, you can see that it's a different color brown than the planks and slabs that it's next to. So the spruce just blends in a lot better. All right, so now we can fill in the rest of the walls. And for this, I'm going to do something that I've never done before. I'm going to use concrete powder for the walls. This is a very similar style architecture to a house that I built in season 1 for my armor and weaponsmith villagers. And in that case, I used white terracotta. But in retrospect, the white terracotta, it was just a little bit too yellow. I want something that's a little whiter, but white concrete is just way too bright. White wool is too bright. But the white concrete powder, it has that sort of grainy texture to it, which I think looks really, really good for this style. So what we're going to do is the whole outside of this is going to be white concrete, and then there's going to be a window of black glass in the middle, and we have to put the glass in before we can finish putting in the concrete so that the concrete doesn't fall. So that's what we're going to do on all of these walls. They're all going to have the black window surrounded by white concrete powder. So there we go, concrete powder and black panes, not panes, but tinted glass, black stained glass. That's what it is, black stained glass all the way around. This looks really good, especially from the outside. Let's go take a look at this from the outside. And yeah, that's so good. That looks really, really good. I definitely like the white concrete powder much better than the white terracotta that I used in season 1. And now that we've got the actual walls in, you can kind of see how the supports with the dark oak planks and the stairs sticking out from below each wall, it makes a little bit more sense now. They're sort of holding the walls up. Now for the roof, I'm going to do something else that I've never done before. I'm going to build the roof out of copper, specifically copper stairs. Now this is all the copper I have. I had a lot of copper ingots, but it takes 9 copper ingots to make 1 copper block, and so it didn't turn into very many copper blocks. I just haven't really been mining copper because I haven't been using it, but now I'm starting to use it, so I might need to go get some more. Fortunately for us, in a recent update, it may have been 1.18.10, when you cut copper blocks on a stonecutter, you now get 4 times the output. I don't know why. It was intentional. It's not like a bug. But we can get a whole lot of copper stairs out of this. Now I'm not going to go super crazy with this. I want to leave some in reserve just in case I need, more stairs or more blocks or whatever. And then our roof is also going to overhang by 1 row. And so I need to come up here and we're going to do the same thing that we did for the bottom of these walls. We're going to put a row of dark oak slabs all the way around. And then similar to what we did on the bottom, not exactly the same, we are going to replace some of these with upside down stairs instead of planks. And so we want the stairs to match up with the spruce pillars. And so the spruce pillars are going to be here, in the middle, right here, and right here. So 1 block in from the corner is where the spruce pillars are. So we're just going to do an upside down stair there, and there. And I'll repeat this on the other 3 walls as well. So if we take a look at it from below, you can kind of see that looks pretty good. It looks good. This one isn't so much for support, it's just for decoration. It's just a nice little detail to make the roof look a little bit nicer. Now for the actual roof, like I said, we will be using copper stairs. I'm going to go ahead and put in all the stairs first. And then I'm going to come back and wax all of them to make sure that they don't oxidize because I want this roof to stay copper. And I think it'll be easier to just put the whole thing in and then wax all of it afterwards. I am going to skip the corners. I'm going to do something special with the corners. And rather than doing a sort of vaulted roof like I normally do, because this is just a big square and because it's a tower, I think it's going to look a whole lot better to just have each side of the roof slope up to a single point in the middle. Now for the corners, I'm actually going to do those out of dark oak stairs. I think having the diagonals be a dark oak instead of the copper, it's going to look really nice and just keep the entire roof from looking very sameness, all being the same block type. Now right behind this first row of stairs, we need to put in another row of dark oak planks, and this is just to avoid having a gap between the roof and the wall once we put the rest of the roof in. So I'll do the same thing behind this. We'll do copper stairs on each side, but in the corners we will do the dark oak stairs. Alright, now for row number 3, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to do a row of copper stairs in the middle with dark oak in the corners. But for the next row, we're going to do something a little different. If we just kept going with this pattern, then our roof would actually end up being pretty shallow because it's not a huge base to the roof. I mean, this roof is only 8 or 9 blocks across, and so we're only going to get like 5 or 6 rows if we keep going with stairs, which is going to make the roof of this really tall tower be really short. So to make it a little bit taller, what we can do is try to make it look like it starts sloping up a little bit more, which is hard to do in Minecraft because you're working with blocks. But what we can do here is I'll put a temporary block right there, and actually this should be dark oak. Whoops. So we'll do a row of just blocks like this, and let me replace this with the dark oak that it should be. So instead of stairs on this row, we're just going to do blocks to make it go up a little bit more. And then we will do stairs on top of this row like that. Now, because we have done a row of blocks with a row of stairs on top of it, the next row has to be at least this tall. It has to be at least this steep. If it's not, then it's just going to look really weird. So let me put down another temporary block right here, and we'll do copper block on top of that, and then we will do, whoops, I'm out of dark oak. Let me go get some more dark oak. And then we'll do the stairs on top of this one as well. And now we're just left with this central area. And even though you won't see it from the outside, I am going to do a dark oak plank in the middle there. And then I'm going to do, I guess, 2 full blocks of copper. Again, it needs to be at least a block with a stair height above it to keep the same sort of increase in curvature going up. So I'll just do 2 blocks of the cut copper on top of that, and that should be it. So let's take a step back. I want to see this thing from a distance. And yeah, that's a really good looking roof. I like it. So I really like how you can kind of see it curving upwards as it goes towards the middle, which makes it a lot taller. We got like a good 3 extra rows of height on the roof by doing that. So that looks really good now. So the reason I wanted to put the dark oak block in the middle, even though you won't see it from the outside, is because you can see it from the inside, and it makes a really cool pattern. And actually, now that I look at it from below, I think it needs to be 1 block lower. I think I want that to be flush with this row like that. That looks a lot better. So yeah, I really like the way that this roof looks from the inside. Usually I'll put a ceiling inside of a building so you can't really see the bottom of the roof. But this roof actually looks really good from the inside, so I'm just going to leave it open like that. We'll probably put some lanterns or some sort of lighting source hanging from the ceiling when we come back to decorate the inside of this, but for now we can just leave it. I need to get back up top from the outside with my honeycomb so I can wax all of this copper to make sure it doesn't oxidize. Good news is you don't have to be super quick about this. Copper takes forever to oxidize. It takes so long. So you're not really going to run a huge risk of this stuff oxidizing on you while you're building the roof. I guess I could leave 1 or 2 pieces unwaxed and let them oxidize like 1 level or so, just to make the roof look like it's also been a little bit worn. but I just know, I know I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna forget, and it's just gonna go through like all 4 stages of oxidation, and I'm gonna look up one day and be like, why is there a green block on my roof? So I'm just gonna wax it all. It might make more sense to just like leave out some copper stairs down at the ground and just let them oxidize to the level that I want, and then come back and replace some of the blocks in the roof with the slightly oxidized, like weathered, I think is what it's called, some of the oxidized variants of the copper stairs. That might be a good idea. So I'm just going to quickly go back over all of this again, holding down the use button just to make sure I didn't miss any. You can't wax copper blocks that have already been waxed, and so if I missed any, then it should wax them, but it looks like I got everything. Now, as far as the inside of the structure, I don't actually know what I want to do with this yet. I know I wanted a tower in this part of the base. I know this is kind of what I wanted it to look like. And I think if we go back out and take a look at it from the outside, it looks really cool. Let me get a good sort of bird's eye view with where I've positioned it, and the fact that I don't really have a clear line of sight from the bottom area yet. It's kind of hard to see the whole thing unless you're flying around. But look at this thing. Yeah, it looks good. And to me, it looks sort of like a mage's hut or a wizard tower or something like that. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking in terms of decorating the inside of it. But I don't know what I want to do with it yet. So I'm going to leave the inside sort of unfinished. That will probably be my weekend update. I also need to do like clearing out some of these trees and building a nice path up here from my base so I don't have to go through powdered snow or fly. But as far as the actual build, I think we're done. So that's going to wrap things up for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this build. Like I said, I'm probably going to actually decorate the inside on the weekend update and then build a nice little path leading from the tower down to the rest of my base to really connect the two together. Today I just wanted to get the structure put in, and I really like it. I think this is a nice simple tower, but it looks really good, and I think it fits in well with the rest of my base that I've got going on here. Big shout out to my patron, Grandma Liz. Thank you so much for your support. Really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button. And while you're down there, feel free to subscribe so you'll get notified of future episodes as they come out. Thanks y'all, and have a great day.